Alright, welcome back to my How to Paint Space Marines videos. So, up to this point, I have talked about the brushes that I use, and I've talked about prepping your miniatures as far as the flashing and scraping that off. It doesn't take long, and it does make a difference. I talked about how to prime your models. I'm painting this squad of 5 tactical Space Marines to a tabletop quality for Blood Angels. And here's the next step. We're actually going to start painting now. So what you have to do is, after you've gotten them all primed white, just the legs and the torso, you paint the entire model blood red. I use a Games Workshop small dry brush for this. I load the brush pretty well. Never dip the brush all the way to the ferrule. The ferrule is the metal part where the bristles come out. So that's a pretty fair amount of paint I've put on my brush. I'm going to start by painting onto a wide area, like on this Marine here. I'm going to start on his leg where there's a big space so that I don't get too much paint into the cracks in the middle. Then I'm just going to paint as fast as I can and get the whole thing done quickly. You don't want the paint to build up, so wherever it's kind of building up in the cracks, go back to that spot often and dig it all out and spread it around the model. Paint quick so it doesn't dry. This doesn't have to be all that perfect. It helps if it's, you want it to be even. Just make sure you keep going back. Notice how I'm going back to where I first started painting on that first leg, and I'm digging all the paint out of the cracks in the details. I am painting a 5-man tactical squad to tabletop quality. I keep going back over all the cracks and details. I don't want any paint building up in there. You want it to be as thin and even as possible. You're painting with a light color, the blood red, over white, which will make the color seem brighter. You can't really paint with blood red over black. Okay, so I got the front of the model pretty well done. Now I'm going to focus on some of the deep details to get into those, like the eyeballs on the chest skull and in between these little abdomen pieces. That's pretty good. It's a pretty well balanced layer of color. Flip them over, get more paint, load the brush, start. I didn't use enough paint on this load. I should have had enough to do it in 2 applications, the entire Marine. Let's see if I can stretch it out to get the whole dude done. I use a dry brush because it's got a wide brush and it holds a lot of paint. You can load it up there and it helps to spread the paint around. The bristles are stiff so you can dig the paint out of the details. Now, I've had a lot of emails, a lot of questions about painting other chapters. I will be painting other chapters eventually. Black Templars, Ultramarines, Crimson Fists. I've never painted the fists, but I'll do it. I don't think that they'll be too hard for some guys that have asked. But these techniques apply to all of the Space Marines. For example, Ultramarines, you can do them the same way. But I base coat with Chaos Black, paint the whole model Ultramarine blue, which will bring you to this step where I am now. Last thing I'll do is a little bit of paint in where the head goes. Go over some of the areas where I missed in my haste to get them painted. The worst thing that you have to do is to come back and repaint spots that you missed when you're doing this step. So just take the time to go and get them all done. Make sure that it's even, so go back and add more color if you need to in certain spots. Okay, that looks pretty good. So there is my Marine painted red. My Blood Angel Tactical Marine. And that is 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Perfect, right on. So to clean my brushes, I just use I keep a coffee cup with just water, and I'll dab it in the water, but my coffee cup has run out of water, so I have to run and get some water. But this video is over for now anyway. So that's what I want you to do. In the meantime, I'm going to get my other 4 Marines painted red, and then I will come back and show the next step. So what I want you to do in the meantime is get your Marines base coated white, paint them red. Next step coming soon.